Hello and welcome to another episode of Renegade Radio, the only place that talks about RCW, because I'm the only person that gives a damn. No, seriously, this is a little explanation. What is BWA? Well, first of all, I just want to say there's some of our little feds that are going on in our Federations of the World universe. They're on hiatus. UWA is on hiatus. NLW is on hiatus. NGW is making a comeback. Well, it's not making a comeback. It's going to pick up where it left off. RCW is still going. I'd say going strong, but it's still going. Yeah, and so there's really only two feds within our particular grouping that are still existent. I'm bringing in another one. Called Real Japan Pro Wrestling, and there's going to be some partnership between RCW and Real Japan Pro Wrestling. If you follow RCW, you'll have probably read the stuff. I like Japanese wrestling. I like Japan. It's I'm not off topic on this. I like Japan. Not really an anime fan, but I like Transformers, and Transformers came from Japan originally. One of my favourite Transformers series is Victory, which is a Japanese-only continuation of the Generation 1 stories. It followed Super God Master Force, which followed Headmasters. We're not going to get into that. It's just, I like Japan and stuff, and I like Japanese wrestling, and want to do my own little Japanese company, because why not, eh? Point being, there's that Fed, there's Real Japan, there's RCW, and there's NGW, and that's it for now. But, before all that, before RCW, before UWA, there was BWA. It was something I started, it was on SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, I think I might have mentioned this in my gaming experience. And they left Creator Championship in, yay, fair enough, but they took out Creator Pay-Per-View, which meant all my ECWA work I couldn't do it on there. Could, I guess, but it wouldn't have felt so linear, not having a structural foundation. Match 1, match 2, match 3, match 4, and so on. It would have just been a bunch of exhibition matches. Ironically, I'm kind of doing that with RCW now. Well, I was when the universe, before it was patched. Even that's still problematic, so I do tend to... It's less linear RCW, but I've got my notes, I've got my writing, my text notes and shit like that. On 2008 SmackDown vs. Raw, there was no Creator Pay-Per-View. They kept the Creator Championship in, which was cool. I mean, I could still do something. It was in 2008 that I started work at Butlins in Ingermells, and I was just messing around, and I met new people, made new friends, and obviously when that happened with me, they kind of get digitized and created on my wrestling games. And the same thing happened. That's where I met Ben Radicaz, I met Christian Fox, the Kitchings, they're from Butlins, Boshak. If you've seen them, if you've seen RCW, you've probably seen them about. They're all actual real people that I met there. And I had this little thing going on, and it was just, originally, it was putting my guys in the WWE general manager mode, but I want to do something more. So I created some championships, the Butlins Wrestling Alliance, or Association. I'll go with Alliance for now. We just go BWA. We know the Butlins Wrestling bit, the last one's open to debate. Create some championships. And Skyline Championship is because the big, concealed area of Butlins is called the Skyline. That's where that came from. And, we have the World Championship and the Tag Team Championships. And it was fun, and I told Ben, we was out drinking one night after work, and I told him about it, and he was excited for it. And we was just shouting BWA at each other all night. It was good. We was brainstorming, coming up with ideas and stuff. I'd go to his shed. It's a chalet what the staff live in. They were nicknamed sheds, that was the term for them. And I'd go there and put the PlayStation 2 on, and I'd load up my memory card, and we'd do BWA shows after work and before work and stuff, and it was a fun little thing. It's kind of like what me and Wilf do with RCW now when he comes over and does his matches. And yeah, it grew into something. Admittedly only between about half a dozen people, but it grew into something. And it wasn't just my little thing anymore, it was a group effort. It was mine and Ben's thing, and Sean O'Savoury and Ross Lee, BWA. And they'd all get involved a little bit. Maybe not as much play their matches, but they'd get involved, and we'd tell them the results and shit like that. And it was a fun little thing. Obviously there was no Create an Arena back then, so we used the TV show we had was BWA Revolution. We used the New Year's Revolution Arena. RCW Revolution comes from that. I recycled the name. I recycled a couple of things. And hell, even BWA recycled a KOW thing. Destiny's Claim. And we had our pay-per-views, we had our shows, and it was all fun. I remember the Violent Hell pay-per-view that we did. That came from the Coldplay song Violet Hill. I misheard the title and thought it was called Violent Hell. Even so, I thought it was a cracking name for a pay-per-view. It worked. And yeah. Then I left Butlins, moved away after my son was born, and we got SmackDown vs Raw 2009 that had none of those features. Didn't have a general manager mode, didn't have Create a Championship or Create a Pay-Per-View. And, in terms of doing your own stuff with your own federations and your own little brands and shit, there was none of that. And so the BWA thing just kind of slid away. It just faded. And it remained that way until like last year, I think. And I was talking with Ben. We made a couple of posts, and we name dropped BWA into a couple of our posts on Facebook and shit like that, because we do our own rumours, which aren't really rumours if we know they're true, but we like to play the roles, if you will, but not to that extent. And we name dropped it a couple of times, and I just said, because we'd already established that my Desirous character had come to RCW from UWA. Desirous lost to Radicaz in a match in which he could never wrestle for UWA again. He served as general manager for a bit, and then left, joined RCW. I've also put into the Desirous character that he plays the lead in the Saints Row movies, because I try and make when I play Saints Row, I try and make the character look like myself, and it actually works better on Saints Row than it does on the WWE games. So there's that little thing as well. Every once in a while I'll disappear around about the time the Saints Row game comes out. But it was established that I'd worked UWA and then gone to RCW. In between that I was filming Saints Row 3. In between UWA and RCW. Wink wink. And I just said to him, I goes, look, what if we incorporate the BWA stuff into this? BWA is where it all started, and we left BWA, went to UWA, Ben formed UWA, I went a year after, and then I went to RCW. And it just it was right after WWE 13 had released, and they had the Attitude Mode, and it kind of gave me this idea for a historical kind of BWA thing, like the own BWA's version of the Attitude Mode, and I started writing stuff, and I was doing a chronological history and stuff, and I created arenas. I even did the thing what they did with WWE 13, where I created a Desirous character, but then I created a separate Guardian Prime character, which Guardian Prime was came first, and then eventually transitioned into Desirous after being screwed by so many factors, and then just said fuck it and went dark side. So I again, I kind of followed the THQ model with that. Different moveset. So Guardian Prime never used a Desirous driver until towards the end of the Guardian Prime run, so he had a different moveset, different finishers. Conversely, Desirous never used the original Sin. Or rarely used the original Sin, sorry. That was a Guardian Prime finisher. And then we had Radicaz, the in original BWA colours, but then we had his first character, because before I heard the name Radicaz, I created Ben. He's from Leicester. I live near there, and I just called him Ben Lester, Lester. And so we had the Radicaz character and then the Ben Lester character. It was just something, we have 50 slots, and we could just play around with it a bit. And without having to worry about switching the ties, we could just switch the characters out. And started up a BWA universe on an alternate save and started doing this historical relive thing, going through all the matches that we'd played on the PS2. Obviously, there was one match, which was a triple threat tornado tag team match, and this was actually Guardian Prime's last match, because it was for the tag titles. It was me and Radicaz, and we dominated the match. Me and Ben actually played this match. We dominated and didn't win. We did all the work and someone else got the titles. That was what switched me to Desirous. That was the final straw, the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Obviously we can't recreate that because there's no triple threat tornado tag team matches anymore, which sucks. But apart from that, I could go around, I could recreate the other stuff, and it kind of led to this reunion show that we discussed it. Agreed. Well, because I spend more time on the game than he did, that I would recreate the characters. I would run the show. I'd do the matches, play the matches, or record them on watch if need be, and do the scenes and stuff. And that will be coming after Cybermania, the Centre Stage reunion show. There will be a little Hall of Fame ceremony as well. One thing we did, we started BWA in 2008, but it's been retconned to the year 2000. That's when, in the timeline of BWA, that's when it started. So we could give it a good 10 years. Just so we can play around with it. And there's stuff that we didn't get as far as, there's stuff that, in terms of history, has happened, but it hasn't yet, because it's one of those things that I haven't played it. There's 10 years to play with. We got about 3 or 4 years done that we knew what was going on. There's another 6 or 7 years where it's all up in the air. We've wrote in things like Christian Fox was a former BWA champion, Ross Lee and Christian Fox feuded over the title. We know that will come later, but there's other stuff that we can just throw in there. There's also the fact that Sean O'Savory has never been BWA champion, so we've got to keep the belt away from him, regrettably. But that's just how it came about, and that is how it kind of integrated into the shared universe that we have. And I think that's pretty neat. It's something that me and Ben liked, and we were excited about. I mean, even Wilf liked the arena. Wilf loved the arena that I created for BWA, and it's something that will continue. I haven't recreated everything for 2K14 because, quite frankly, sorry Jim Ross, the arena logo shit that's going on in 2K14 won't serve the purposes, and it's everything I need is on my WWE 13 game. I've been going back to WWE 13 to recreate my Cybermania matches because that got all lost on my external hard drive, and so I play it a lot more than I thought I would. WWE 12 I haven't touched since 13 came out, but 13 I still go back to, and you know, for the BWA stuff I will happily go back to WWE 13 and do that. So I've just uploaded the last Revolution before Cybermania, RCW Revolution. It hasn't gone public yet. It will. Well, it probably will have gone public by the time this cast goes public. Yeah, so I've got Cybermania to upload and the pre-show, and basically there's a week of RCW which won't be filmed. That'll be in its usual text format, and then it's BWA Centre Stage. And there's probably not enough time to get some stuff out, BWA content, before the show goes out, because I do want to plough along with this. I will probably put out BWA content after the Centre Stage show. Maybe I'll upload the very first match. I'll recreate the very first match, or the very first card, and upload that. I may upload the very first championship matches. It's stuff that I might even make a little, rise and fall type thing out of it, and add, pre-match stuff to, links between the matches and shit. We'll see. I mean, BWA will continue in some form, just not a present day form, bar the reunion shows. It's just, I'll have to see how it goes. I did actually create a BWA channel, YouTube channel for this, but I've decided against uploading to that because, sometimes logins and shit. I've got enough YouTube accounts. I've got 3 main accounts. I'm just going to upload the BWA stuff onto the RCW page. I'll be uploading Real Japan stuff to the RCW page as well. It's kind of like my own little RCW network. Well, that about covers it. This is a lot shorter than my usual ones, which, I do feel I ramble too much on some of them. This is just a little explanation, bit of backstory and history about the BWA. Hope you enjoy it. Well, hope you listen to it. If you do, you shall hear me next time.